What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Coasting the Mediaverse. I'm Brian.
And I'm Michael.
And today, y'all, happy Earth Day!
Mother Earth, nature, everything around us is wonderful.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah, today's Earth Day. We're rocking with some green light in the studio. You know, we're just hanging out. It's a gorgeous day outside, maybe. Like, because we're not recording on Earth Day, but
Totally walking right now on Earth Day, feeling how beautiful the air is.
Uh-huh.
The weather is great.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a guess. The weather right now, while this gets posted in New York City, is a solid 78 degrees.
Wow, I'm going to say it's 67 degrees.
Bringing that back.
Anyways, how you doing, Michael?
I'm doing really good. Life's been really interesting, but in the best of ways. A lot of fun things we've been doing, cooking content, and it's just a nice time to reflect on the planet that we are on today.
That is so true. So yeah, today we're going to be talking a little bit about, the planet that we're sitting on right now, Earth. We're going to be doing a fun little thing. We're going to be doing an Earth Day draft. We're going to be talking about just some ideas that, came to mind. And I'm sure you guys have seen drafts online of people doing drafts of Marvel characters or, different objects of random things or whatnot.
If you watch a thing called sports, sometimes you're drafting players for leagues and things of that
I'm
nature.
such a nerd that I thought of a draft and I didn't even think of sports.
I know.
I was like,
the
Marvel
I clocked you
was?
right now.
Like,
I've been watching sports
TikToks?
lately.
Yeah, I believe it. But yeah. We are going to be talking a little bit about the Earth today, but we wanted to let you guys know before that this week we're also going to be dropping our Project Hail Mary review. That came out like earlier this month, and we just haven't had a chance to put it out yet. Just things going on in our lives, but we thought it would be perfect to be putting it around Earth Day because it is, while it takes place in space on a totally different star system, it is a celebration of Earth.
Spoilers, they're trying to save Earth in that movie. So, yeah, we obviously wanted to make this episode fun, and what other than to do a draft. So in this draft, me and Brian have curated our own list of things that we deem Earth related. This could be anything in pop culture, media, or anything else in just real life Earth. So we didn't really talk about what we were doing, on which characters we're bringing, concepts, or whatever that might mean. So in this point, if you hear a character and it makes sense, we'll talk about why we chose them. We move on. We might have a character that we do not agree that is a valid Earth Day draft.
Sure.
So then we will debate about it and talk about why not.
Yeah.
And just kind of have fun with that roster.
Do you think, because you said you have around like 12 things listed.
Yeah, I have 12 prep just in case.
Do you think any of ours line up?
I think we have probably one or two common ones, and then I
Really?
think we're probably going to just divert where our brains went.
I'm going to be totally honest. I think we have like 24 completely separate ideas.
Okay.
I'm going to say that we have nothing in
common. Then I think at that point we might just read all the list.
And then that would be fun.
Okay,
and
cool.
I say we do our top 5, pick the top 5 from your draft, and then if they, if nothing gets picked from the other person, we give the honorable mentions.
The way I just started sweating because I hate picking top 5s because it stresses me out. I wrote them down in no order, so now I have to actively choose my top 5.
Yeah.
As we choose the top 5. But also that's what a draft is. So maybe I didn't do my homework.
Hey,
I guess we'll see.
I was watching TikToks. I knew. But yeah, first off, I'm going to do a fun little honorable mention before we get into it. Michael, what are we drinking right now?
We are drinking yerbs.
Yerba madre, yerba mate. If you guys aren't familiar, it is a beautiful tea drink that Michael and I are absolutely obsessed with right now. Not a sponsor, but hey, we're trying.
We could dream.
Yeah, we were like Earth Day, Yerb Day. That's just
One
kind of
the
day
same,
we're having.
honestly. I think
we're both on our second yerbs of the day, and it's only like 6:30 p.m.
I'm drinking a Linden Mint.
Yeah, I had the mint one earlier. It was delicious. I'm having the berry lemonade. I've never had it before. It's the sweetest of the yerba mates that I've had. And I dig it. I like sweet drinks.
I think it'd be really funny right now if you inserted the ASMR video that I did a while ago. So I'm gonna leave this here just in case you want to add that.
Okay, sounds good.
And if not, this is gonna be cut out.
Yeah, maybe.
The herbs are just so good.
They're
It's just
delicious.
kind of like there's a thing about caffeine. Obviously, I drink a lot of caffeine, and there are days where I am like, oh, okay, I'm drinking too much. But something about herbs really make me feel different. Like I think I enjoy the aesthetic of coffee a lot.
Sure.
I love drinking like a black cup of coffee or an iced latte in like the winter time, right? Like there's just nice feelings, and even cold brew. Like I love drinking cold brew and cold brew shots. But if I had to get rid of all caffeine except one, it would be yerba mate.
Really?
And I think I would be probably a better caffeinated person if I just drank herbs.
And I do think it's growing on me in that department as well because, listen, I've been a barista for, too long, like maybe over 6 or 7 years. I swear to God, I didn't mean to make a 6, 7 joke. I literally
can't believe you did that twice.
It's just realistically how long I have. I love coffee. When I work, I drink an average of like 3 to 4 lattes a day, which is horrendous. My doctor went, "Do you drink caffeine?" And I go, "Yeah." And they're like, "I could tell." I'm like, oh, okay. So I do need to limit my caffeine intake. So I've been trying to limit my caffeine. I've been trying to get it from like healthier, not cleaner sources, but like not so concentrated like espressos.
Yeah.
And I'm also trying to limit my milk intake. I kind of just want something that kind of is more refreshing and less like, like the thickness and creaminess of like a latte. And so don't make that face at me.
Okay. But I understand what you're saying, and that's why sometimes I like an Americano. But again, at that point, I just kind of like a drip coffee. But a lot of the times, I've kind of grew away from hot coffees. Like I think those are more like choices for me when I really want it or when I'm like craving it. But yeah, typically your mate is like you throw it in the fridge.
Yeah,
so refreshing.
And I do feel like the energy I get from a yerba mate is just absolutely wonderful.
Can you shake that can for me? Are you almost done?
It's underneath the halfway mark.
We just started the episode.
I know. I love yerba mate.
Yeah, they're so good.
In this conversation alone, I've had like 7 sips. And
yeah, I wasn't even paying attention because I'm
people
also...
can give me the different time codes, if they can hear me sipping and like touching the can, like if you hear the little like fingerprints.
Brian will buy you a yerb if you can get the right amount.
And yerba madre, please sponsor us because we run on you.
I don't love to advertise for asking. Like I really don't want to beg for a sponsor.
Yeah.
I will beg on my knees.
Okay.
Yeah, so yerba mates or yerba madres
what?
Are so good. That's it.
Yeah. Didn't make my top 12 in the draft, but give it time.
To be fair, I didn't even realize I could have made that an option until we sat down and went, damn.
You put me onto yerba madres like 2 weeks ago. Yes. And since then I've probably had about 50.
Yeah. You're welcome.
They're delicious.
You know what's so funny? I actually have a story I never told you about I would like to think it was the first time yerba mate at the time now yerba madres were becoming very new and popular.
Sure.
It was kind of similar to Red Bull when they drive around in the vans handing out their Red Bull cans.
Yeah.
There was a yerba madre van that came up to me and my family. We were on a vacation. I think we were headed to Vegas. We were just parked and taking a little rest break. Maybe it's to Oregon. I think it was Oregon.
Okay.
And we just had a guy give us a whole bunch of samples. And I didn't realize that would be the start of my newfound love for caffeine because I took a break from it and then I come back and I especially like pairing my yerba madres when I'm playing video games or like horror video game stuff. For some reason, it's just a cleaner energy for me, like we said.
Yeah.
And I don't feel as jittery.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can really compose myself to what I'm doing, even if I am smacking the whole can and being kind of crazy.
Because here's the thing, like the first, several episodes of this podcast ran on Celsius. And we love Celsius, don't get me wrong. I don't know how healthy that's going to be for me in the long run. Because I actually saw a TikTok lawsuit. Not a TikTok lawsuit, but like I saw a lawsuit with Alani. Because someone like drank them every day and died.
And see, that's also the thing where it's like, we used to hear the stories about people drinking like monsters at school in high school and then
No,
like
I had
having
people
heart
in camp
attacks.
that drank like 3 to see how they survived, and they actually went to the hospital.
And that's at that point is like, okay, you should be watching yourself on how you're doing it. That's
and I
on
think
you.
this girl was like 17, which is, you know, it's tragic, but you're also 17. Why are you drinking energy
Which starts
drinks?
the debate of should we be able to buy it at a young age? But hey, that's not what we're here for.
That's so true. We are here to talk about Earth. Michael,
Planet
do you like Earth?
I love Earth.
Yeah, Earth is pretty good.
But as someone who thinks sometimes he's a space boy, I'm always staring at the stars and I forget to appreciate the Earth we're on today.
For sure. And that's why I do think, so as of recording, Artemis 2 landed like 2 days ago, and seeing everyone become really inspired by, like, I guess, like, them, and like seeing the Earth, and they kind of reflect and go, hey, we have this one planet, we need to be taking more care of it. Because listen, hey, what's going on in our country right now, the people who in charge, they seem to hate the fucking Earth. They seem to gut the EPA, they gut the Department of Forestry, you know, for national parks, you know, who needs them? They want to like put factories there.
Yeah, we don't have to spend money on taking care of the planet we're living on, Brian. That makes no sense.
Yeah, let's just strip all of the natural resources from our land. You know, the finite resources.
We don't have to worry about the Earth in the future because we're not going to be there when they get to the bad part of it. Like, we want to live in our life, right?
Bro, that's why they want to go to Mars so bad.
So insane.
They want to go to Mars so bad because of that.
Maybe let's take care of this planet.
I agree.
And understand it more.
I'm not the biggest Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, you know, like super fan.
Sure.
But he does say, like, why do we need to go to Mars in case we destroy Earth? Why not we just try to fix Earth? Sure. Or, like, try to take care of it. Because when you think about how much it's going to cost billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to get to Mars. It'll still cost the same amount of money to fix the Earth and do the things that we need to do. It all just comes down to greed. And, you know, people at the top, they don't really care about that. They only care about the dollars that are in their pocket. But hey, we love Earth. The people love Earth.
You love Earth if you're listening to this. I only imagine our listeners love Earth.
Someone's like, I'm more of a Saturn fan.
Hey, get it, but we're living here right now, so let's love Earth, okay?
So true.
Besides that, let's get into this draft.
Yeah.
You go first.
Oh my God, you're putting me first.
I will give you the choice to take the first one because you think we're not going to have anything in common. So I want you to
I don't think we're going to have anything in
common. I want you to have the opportunity to take what you really want because I probably would have taken
tough. This is really tough. Okay. My number one pick for all of Earth. This is crazy. I might shorten this down, but I will say, actually, I do think I have my number one.
Okay.
Have you seen the picture from one of the Apollo programs of Earthrise?
I have not.
You have never seen Earthrise?
So you're going to show it to me while you talk about it.
So I'm going to show you Earthrise. It is a very famous picture that one of the Apollo programs took. And it's kind of like, you know, playing on the word, it's sunrise. But when they were on the moon, they saw the Earth in a way that nobody has ever seen before. It just shows how fragile we are. We really think like the Earth is this big, mighty thing, and it is to us. But in the grand scheme of the universe, we're nothing, dude. We are so tiny, and we just have this one thing. And I find it beautiful because it's taken on the surface of the moon, so you see the little craters and you see the area of the moon, but you're looking at Earth and you see the covered part of it in shadow and then the rest of it. It just shows that like that is where we are all there right now. And, you know, like I said, it feels huge to us, but it is not that big in the grand scheme of things. You know?
No, I mean,
it's a lot.
I do agree with you. I mean, that is a beautiful photo.
And this was one of the first pictures that they took to kind of just show like, hey, this is our planet. This is what we look like to everything else in the universe.
Sure. I mean, a part of me did think that photo is photoshopped in the beginning because I did watch the documentary Smiling Friends, and that is a flat Earth in there.
Oh,
but
bro.
I do see that is real, and maybe that was lying to me.
You're saying that you thought that Smiling Friends was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite thing about Earth is the glass dome that covers our planet.
Which, yeah, we talked about that in the Oscar episode too. So.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a great choice. I did not expect that to be your first one.
I really had to simplify it. And at the end of the day, I picked that because, like I said, it's just... it might not be my most favorite thing, but it's the most impactful.
No, I think that's so real.
Yeah.
And for my top one, I'm going to lean into more of a pop culture choice. It's going to be WALL-E.
Whoa, okay.
The WALL-E movie.
Okay. We almost had a crossover. I almost put down WALL-E.
But you didn't.
I didn't.
So it's mine.
Yeah.
I take it. And why I chose that, I love WALL-E. WALL-E is one of my favorite Disney films of all time. I think he is just a little mechanical boy who's just trying to take care of the planet and trying to make it better. And I mean, the story itself is so much fun. And I haven't rewatched WALL-E in a while, but I'd love to see it again. But him carrying around the plan, trying to, take care of Earth and kind of showing us where Earth can go and where the wrong solution is obviously to build upward in space in a ship or on a different planet. Like, why not take care of it here? I think WALL-E has a very fun, family-oriented story that's also showing things that we are trying to pay attention to, that even, again, today, people are watching WALL-E and not realizing the little importance of this film that's trying to say, take care of Earth.
Yeah. No, that's exactly. WALL-E is gorgeous. And I remember, when people make the joke of like, what radicalized you? And it's just like a ton of things. WALL-E is one of those things where it's like, is that possible? Can we exist in a future where that's the case? And it's like, yeah. It's extreme, but it's also not impossible. And like we said, we have people in our world right now that are trying to build to the stars instead of saving the planet. It's like, why not do that? Why not do both? I love the idea of us being like a spacefaring civilization. Don't get me wrong. I want to go to Mars, but I also
take care of Earth.
Exactly.
And also maybe
100%.
Take care of Earth's ocean.
Please.
Maybe let's take care of that and then look more into that too, because where I am scared to see an underwater monster or things that could be deep in the ocean that we haven't got to because it's so unexplored. We should still do it. It's our planet, and it's one of our greatest things is the water we have. So maybe take a look at that.
They so off topic, but you said that like with the water. I was listening to a podcast of a guy talking about cryptids. Like he was like a cryptozoologist. Yeah. And the person interviewing him said, like, do you believe in any of them? And he's like, I don't know if I believe in any specific one, like if it's possibly real. But like back in the day, like rhinos were considered cryptids until, like people from, Europe like saw them, because people would go explore, see a rhino, come back and be like, I saw this thing with a horn and this whatever. And people didn't believe them until it was documented. Same thing with platypuses and stuff like that.
Or the giant squid.
Yes, exactly. So he said, if there are cryptids that are real or like things that we would consider like monsters that we don't think exist right now, they're most likely in the water. And they are most likely down deep where we have not seen yet.
Sure, maybe even some dinosaurs that were like the underwater dinosaurs that are probably just living deep down in the crater and could survive under there.
It's
like,
scary.
I know, but like I think could totally be true. Like, and we're starting to see things surface up because of how bad we're taking care of our planet, because they are dying and unable to live, which is horrible. But I definitely would love for us to just take care of it more and also look into it. And a super off topic, I would love to talk about cryptids on the podcast sometime. It'd be a fun episode to do. Yeah. But we're here for Earth.
One more off topic, just because I have to get this out.
Yeah, let it out.
Would you rather like forget like the safetyness of it all? Like you're not gonna like die immediately with what like the pressures or whatever. But what would be more terrifying to you? Being teleported into the middle of space or being teleported to the middle of like underwater ocean?
Underwater.
Yeah.
Because in space, I theoretically would be alone, right?
Yeah.
And what would be scary is not being, but like I still, whatever. Underwater, I know I'm gonna blip and someone's gonna be like, and I'm gonna freak.
Have you ever seen that dragon movie that came out a few years ago where I didn't see it, but I saw one of the trailers, and if you look, it's supposed to be this dragon in the water and it's massive. and the character looks down, and do you know, like, as you go down, it's just harder to see and everything. As you look down, there's just like eyes and like just a shape of a body, and like that scares the hell out of me right now. Like I'm sitting in your room right now, and I'm spooked.
There's a game I want to show you that's basically, I think it's Subnautica.
It's Subnautica. Yeah, I'm never playing Subnautica because when I see the Leviathans, I'm gonna cry.
We are playing the game. There's also a game I really want to play called Dredge, where like
I've heard of Dredge as well. No.
Yes.
But anyways, back to our Earth Day draft. So for our first draft, I put Earthrise, and what did you put?
Wally.
So I'm actually starting to think that you did more media than I did.
I think so too.
I think so, because I did a lot of just what do I like about the world, and then I just wrote a lot of nature stuff.
And I went, what things do I like watching about Earth in media?
But I'm gonna change it up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get onto media, and I'm gonna say, for my Earth Day draft number 2, I'm doing the Avatar power system.
You just went outright for all of the Avatar system.
Yeah, not just Earth, all of them, because all of the elements are in it. It's, and then everything can be encompassed in those elements as well. Because if you go into water eventually does ice and steam, and then it also does the vine bending, like the plants. You go into Earth goes into sand, and then lava, and then metal. And then air. Air technically, like, people think that air should technically be lightning because there's like a whole like theory of things like that. But regardless, like fire, then the fire has lightning as well. So it encompasses a lot of the elements of the world, and not like an elements of like not the periodic table of elements, but the things that make up nature. I love that the power system of Avatar focuses on strict martial arts and the elements of nature. I think for some reason, like that has always scratched an itch in my brain that I love so much. I think they nailed it on the head with how perfect like of a power system that is.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with what you said, as well as the spirituality of all the natures, and what that representation of their version of like ki, or like the inner body of control, where there's a time where Zuko's having to learn how to do lightning by doing meditation and adjusting his stances and his styles.
Yeah.
And the reason why I do like fire and lightning, which is typically not a normal, and I think it is very unique to the Airbender series, because fire and lightning are energy. Is like the controlling of the sense of like fire really helps things go and move, and so does lightning, and it's like it's a power source, and that's why I think they're so entwined,
for sure,
and why the Airbender does it in that sense, because fire is just that one form of that control of the power, where lightning is the other one, the more relaxed, the more internal. Fire is aggression, lightning is more control. And so I like that. I think that connection is great. I don't think I would want air to be connected to lightning in this world, because I think air is supposed to be the center of it all. The thing that helps everything kind of connect, and why it, is such a more peaceful art that can influence all the other elements.
In other forms of power systems that involve the elements, they typically associate thunder with the air or the atmosphere, and that's why, like
sonic booms and stuff like that too.
Yes, and if you think of like Zeus, he's like the god of lightning and like the sky and everything. So like it's that like you can see. But no, I agree with you. Lightning. I grew up with Avatar, so I always associate lightning with fire in general, and I do like how your interpretation of it with like the forming of energy, or the expelling of energy in that passion. But yeah, it's I knew I had to get that in there. Let's go to your number 2.
No, that was a really good one.
Thank you.
I definitely think power systems were something I was thinking of, and where I was thinking of power systems, I think my number 2 is going to be less of just a power system, but more of a class in RPGs, which is the Druid class.
Okay.
I think the Druid class entails a lot into like, nature and taking care of the world that you're living in, and the beings and things, plants, animals, etc., the matter of the world around you. And druid classes, especially in like earth-based campaigns, are really in
Yeah.
touch with the earth itself. And probably one of the first classes I've ever played in an
Really?
RPG system. It was in Pathfinder. I was playing a druid named Luna, and
Nice.
she had two pet velociraptors. It
That's
was
really cool.
Dawn and Dusk.
Oh, that's sick.
And they were the babies. It took care. They were my favorite thing about the class, and
Yeah.
like just being able to play someone who is like, yeah, I love these two like dinosaur eggs that I hatched from a baby, and I take care of them while taking care of my planet. It really leaned into like the nurturing aspect of that, which is very
For
new and
sure.
fun for me as someone who is very younger playing the RPGs.
Yeah.
And I only got to play one session,
Sure.
so really
That's
sad
rough.
about it. But I think about it any single time that I'm involving myself within the world of RPGs or within just nature itself, because it was something that I had put so much time and effort into creating, and I think a piece of me just will always be there.
Sure.
And I think druids are so much fun. Hopefully one day I get to play another one or revisit that character, because they just really do have all the aspects to what, for me, my version of spiritualism in taking care of this planet would look like, right? Just kind of treating it you as you would another person, right? Where like having kindness is something I feel like a lot of people should just do naturally. The druids feel like we should do that with nature all the time.
Yeah. I love that a lot. I'm not too familiar with druids, but I was getting close when I was considering where I was going to do the dichotomy of dwarves and elves in fantasy worlds, because they both have to do with nature, but they have different aspects of nature. Dwarves are almost always like miners, or like things of like the bottom of the earth, or like, you know, the more rugged aspects of it, whereas elves are more of the nature-y, of like the plants and the animals and things like that. But that's wonderful. I loved that. I could see you being a druid.
Thanks.
You should play that again sometime.
I mean, hopefully.
When was that?
I think I was 16.
Oh wow.
Playing at a game shop in my local hometown.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate it only went to one session.
Yeah.
Happens.
DM stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get into that one.
Listen, hey, that's the biggest villain of biggest villain of RPGs.
Actually, I would say the biggest one is time or
and scheduling.
Wacky people who won't just commit.
Well, that's accurate.
Yeah.
But I love that. All right, solid number 2 is where we got the Avatar Magic Power System and druids. Any specific game where druids are the most popular? Like,
I guess so. I would said Pathfinder,
sure,
because that's a character. I mean, yeah, I also have in D&D, and any other system has a version typically of a druid.
Okay.
But I would if I have to pick one, it would be Pathfinder.
Nice,
because that's what I played.
Great. Hell yeah. All right. Should I get into my number 3?
Get into it.
Oh, this is so troubling. I think. Yep, I've decided. I am gonna go with Torterra, the Pokemon.
I love how you said that. Torterra, the Pokemon. It sounded like you were in the Pokedex.
Torterra, for those of you who don't know, is a Gen 4 starter. He's the final evolution. And he is a giant, massive tortoise with basically trees and plants and, you know, maybe even other smaller Pokemon hanging out on his back. I decided to go with that because you and I talked where we were like, do we consider all Pokemon? And it's like, no, I don't know. But I think Torterra is a good argument for the Earth Day conversation because he's got the plants and the life living on his back. He himself almost feels like an embodiment. I call him he, but it's because the generation that I played, it was my dude. But Torterra has life on it, living on it, and it feels like a Mother Nature type. And there are things like Avatar and the Stephen King universe where the world and the universe are turtles with people and life living on its back. And I think there are some religions that even, don't have that. They don't believe that, but they kind of,
The ideology of it,
and
like
the
Yertle the
symbolism of
turtle.
it. Yes. What do you say?
Yertle the turtle.
Yertle the turtle?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I'm not familiar.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
All right. No,
But I hear what you're saying. And tortilla is also ground grass.
Yes.
Which is such a great combination of earth itself.
Exactly. And like I had to think of Torterra is one of my favorite Pokemon, and like if I was able to pick a Pokemon that I think that I would want to travel the earth with me, like travel like through nature and things, I think I would grab a Torterra because I think it would do well in all those terrains and biomes. And I just, well, like I said, when I was thinking of Earth, it was one of the first things that came up. It was actually one of the first things on my list, so that's why I wrote it out.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. I think where obviously there's a lot of Pokemon that stand out. Like I think that is one that holds true to what you're trying to say about nature being combined in the Pokemon world. I think that's a great choice.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
I love Torterra.
Let's get into your top 3.
My top 3 is going to be Zaboomafoo.
Oh my god. Okay.
Zaboomafoo the lemur.
That's so amazing.
Zaboomafoo was probably one of the first things I watched growing up that really educated me on things like animals and the idea of taking care of the planet Earth and nature and stuff. Yeah. Probably should have been higher on my list, but I feel like it's a solid middle for me.
For sure.
Where he's just like, I don't know, he's just so cool too. Like I think of Zaboomafoo and I get so happy. I'm filled with joy. Yeah. And just so much excitement for learning when I was watching Zaboomafoo, and I don't think there's something like Zaboomafoo anymore, but I wish there was. Mm-hmm. I feel like we should reboot Zaboomafoo and just start talking about
get him back out, bring him out of retirement,
bring him back.
Yeah.
In the world of reboots, bring back Zaboomafoo.
Oh my god, you're so right about that. Zaboomafoo, oh man, that's actually such a great choice. I was trying to think of like things, and I was getting very close to naming something. I don't want to say it yet because it might sneak into my top. But I was gonna think like, because is Zaboomafoo PBS?
Yes.
So I was trying to think of some PBS things that might work for me, and I was like, oh, Between the Lions, and I'm like, no, it's like book stuff, like it's cute, but nothing really clicked. Zaboomafoo is a great answer. I love that. It's media and it's nature. It's perfect. There's only one thing that I could think of that I would in that realm that I want to
choose above.
Not I mean like in that sphere of like educational nature.
Is this your 4th?
No.
So soft mention then.
I'll soft mention maybe. I'll throw it in the honorable mention.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Unless it's because I want to see if it's in yours.
Probably not.
Okay.
Maybe it is actually.
Maybe we'll see.
Okay, we're gonna. I don't think it is.
Okay. Well, then we'll wait for the honorable mention. Yeah. But that's a great 3. So okay, so I had Torterra and you had Zaboomafoo. That's wonderful.
3. Yep.
We are now going into our top 4, and this is getting tough. This is really getting tough. But at the end of the day, throw my boy Trees in the mix.
Dude said all trees.
All trees, and then I wrote in parentheses, specifically redwoods. Here's the thing. I've never seen the redwoods in real life. I do think it will be a milestone in my life. Like there are like things, that like I look forward to in my life, things that I'm planning, and like things that like, when they happen, it'll be like, okay, this is like a very serious checkpoint in my life. I do think seeing the redwoods for the first time will be that. I love trees and nature a lot. Like I love spending time at least a little bit, like in a week. I just need to. When I first moved to New York City, it was in the winter. I didn't see a tree for like 3 weeks, and I was like bugging the hell out. So I had to walk to Central Park, and I just walked around. And granted, there was no leaves on the trees unless it was like pine trees. But I'm walking around, and I'm like, I just feel a little better. Yeah. And then once that spring came, and there were trees everywhere, and I realized how many trees were in my neighborhood, I definitely felt better. But My God, I love trees. I did specify trees just be like not, or I decided on trees because I have you seen the picture where people had like the veins in your lungs going one way and then the tree growing up and then its branches going out in the other way, and they're very similar in shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's, we all know that trees produce the oxygen for the world. When during COVID I went on a lot of nature hikes in the preserve near my house, and just being around trees just really grounded me in the sense where like there's a lot of things going on in the world right now, but I can breathe easier just sort of in their presence. There is a very comforting aspect of trees that, it sounds very silly, but like, I don't know. To me, it's so real.
No, I mean, I think I definitely feel more, not even, maybe not safe, but more at peace when there's a big tree next to me. Like, I feel like I'm just, like, getting literal life force put into me anytime I'm near trees.
Yeah.
Like, taking a deep breath just right in the middle of, like, anywhere that has a lot of trees, forest, grass, just feels so good in a time, especially being in the city and we're not around that much nature.
Yeah.
So anytime I get that chance, I'm at a place that has that, I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to take a deep breath right now.
Yeah. And I went to the park for the first time in months and yesterday, and it was so nice. It was great being around like the area. And I love being covered, like where you look up and you see the sky through the leaves. To me, that's just like such a primal feeling of calm and like relaxation and safety, like you said.
Yeah.
And this actually, our good friend Luis, shout out Luis. Have you heard his big tree theory or whatever it's called?
I actually haven't, no.
So we used to hang out on his roof a lot, and we used to talk about how this one building was way higher than all the others. And he said that he believes, this is like his own like personal theory, that he believes that people like they fear the open sky. So they need buildings like that next to them so that they feel a little bit better. Like if you were in an open field and there's one singular tree, you're going to go to that tree. Why? Because it's a calming effect. It's because it's protecting you from the sky predators, the things that might attack you, or it's providing shade, or it's maybe providing food or water. Like it's doing all these things. And now, I'm saying it wrong. So whenever we get him on the pod, he could explain it better. But yes,
the replication of that, though. I mean,
human nature loves
you
trees.
see the media the times there's always that one tree shot, right? Where it's like the film's always focused on the one tree that someone's leaning on, or the tree that where time is moving around that tree staying the same. I mean, Attack on Titan.
Yes, things like that.
Things
You're
like
so
that.
right.
And it is a great concept to think about, but I think usually the landscape is so pretty you forget the center tree. Yeah. But I do agree. And I hope you're outside right now listening to this episode.
Oh,
walking. Please take a walk.
On a bike ride or something?
Like maybe we take one deep breath for the trees, because that was a great choice.
Hell yeah, thank you.
I'm going to take a deep breath for the trees.
This might be a little bit of TMI, but when I'm no longer, alive on this plane, I want to be cremated, and I want my ashes to be planted underneath or with the soil of a tree, and I want to grow into that tree. Like in a perfect world, it would be a redwood somewhere where the redwoods will never be touched, and I am just a big redwood 200 years from now. Like genuinely, that is how
I think that's beautiful.
I've told my partner, and she's like, okay, sounds good, like we'll do that.
Sure.
I told my parents that, and they were like, don't do that, because customs and things like that. But I'm like, no.
I mean,
I think it's a beautiful way to continue existing.
It's a beautiful way of the cycle of life.
Yes. I just want to be a big old tree.
A big old tree. Nothing
Well, let's get
wrong
into your
with
number
that.
4, dude.
My number 4. We are going to lean into maybe involving trees and the circle of life.
Oh?
The one and the only poison ivy.
Whoa, okay. Hell yeah.
I think you had to see this one coming.
I did.
Everyone listening to this saw it coming. Poison ivy is a badass who just loves to take care of all of her plants and wants the world to be better at it.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
Yeah.
She just wants you guys to understand it like she does. And I think poison ivy is just I grew up a lot with obviously the DC comics, and I was thinking. I mean, I'll just say a side honorable mention was like I'll save it later, but Poison Ivy is such a cool character that involves maybe like less of a heroic side to what we should do for nature. And I'm not saying go out and do exactly what she's doing.
No.
But what she is doing has reason.
It's the
philosophy she's trying to make for how everyone, especially like corporate capitalism, is fucking up the planet that we're on. She's just trying to make you understand it better.
Good cause going about it in a bad way.
Sure. That is a good refix on my phrase.
No,
Thank you. Hey, no. I appreciate you. Poison Ivy might not, but I do.
Poison Ivy would kill me for saying that.
And I she's just so much fun to see. I'm really happy to have been looking at more comic books lately that have been allowing her to be more than just environmentalist who is evil.
I like when she's more of like an anti-villain where like...
Yeah, I think she fits really good into that anti-villain, anti-hero kind of thing where it's like, I do really care about nature, and I think men are idiots.
Yeah, if there is a spectrum of like not evil to like vile evil, like I like when she's somewhere in the middle. Like I think that's way more interesting.
And I am happy that she will do everything she's willing to do to take care of Mother Nature.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I was playing Arkham Asylum like a couple months ago, and it's funny because you see a lot of the rogues gallery in that, like break out or do different things. And there was one part where they're like, Batman, you need to go to the greenhouse, and you need to go see what's going on in the greenhouse because something's going on. And I go, who's in there? I go, who's messing things up in the planet in the greenhouse? And you go in there, and soon enough, it's Poison Ivy. And I'm like, yep, I knew who it was.
And yeah, like I said, does she have some interesting means to get what she wants? Yeah, but it's not like she's going around all the time breaking in the banks and trying to take money. It's more doing things that are to fix what we are doing wrong with the world. And I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that's why she's my number 4.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Poison Ivy.
I really do think I'm glad that you leaned into the media more than I did, just because it's giving these conversations, and it was hard to think of them. And in hindsight, I'm so goofy.
I know it's so funny because my 5th one that I won't mention yet is going to make you mad. It's not yours.
I'm already mad. But Poison Ivy's a great pick. But all right. So going into our draft pick number 5. Do we want to say the honorable mentions first and then do our top 5, or do we want to do the top 5?
I think top 5 then honorable mention.
Wonderful. So with that, my top 5, this is hard. This is very hard because I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. I decided that this one's surprisingly important, or something that I was like, we need. Ice skating.
I am a little shocked on that one.
The face Michael made.
I went,
But I understand. I understand entirely. Hear me out.
This is the debate one.
Humanity saw ice. They saw a frozen pond. They saw a frozen lake, and probably for years, for centuries, they would just either walk across it or avoid it because they probably had instances where people fell through and it was very dangerous. And then there was a time where people expressed freedom and they created something new where I want to know about the evolution of the ice skate, because I don't think they created that just like minute 1 of thinking about this, but they put on ice skates. And do you know how to ice skate?
I do not.
Okay.
I can't even roller skate.
Whoa. Okay. So ice skating, there's whenever we talk about superpowers, I think I've told you this, I would love to fly. Like something about flying just is like, the freedom of it all. Like I like sports, or I like things like, like a jet ski or skiing, or like, things where I'm going fast, but I feel in control, not kind of like, anything wild. but that sense of flying, that sense of moving at a speed and feeling wind on your face and that thing, and ice skating is a perfect example of that. You got 2 feet on the ground, you're gliding on ice. When you do know how to do it, and you are able to do some things, like I could skate a little backwards, I can do little things. It is just a wonderful feeling. And like I said, the history of it all, I think it's really cool that people did not have to do it. It's not even really like a form of transportation. Like maybe at one point people were like, hey, if we want to get from this side of the place, like of this side of the lake to the other without walking like a mile or two, we can skate across. And maybe sometimes they walked across and it was hard because it was slippery. And then they, invented ice skates. I love the innovation of that, and I love that people thought of it. And then I love that we turned it into recreation because, like I said, it's so freeing and it's so fun.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm intrigued by this one since I didn't see it coming and I didn't even think it didn't hit my roster at all.
No, yeah, no.
And I do, as seeing ice skating a little bit in media, like Blades of Glory and stuff like that, that's usually more funny. But seeing people take it more serious in the Olympics, like it is intense.
Yeah.
And I could not imagine the control they have to be able to skate on ice and do flips and spins, and could be dangerous too, right? Because these are literal blades that they're on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I never really thought about how freeing it might be. So you've given me a new perspective on ice skating.
Yeah, I mean, like especially you bring up a great point with the Olympics. I mean, watch Alyssa Liu's best run, the absolute breakout star of the Olympics this year. Mm-hmm. And the freedom of the dancing, and it really does look like this person is flying around the ice rink. Like it is a really cool feeling, and it like to be in it and then to watch it, it looks so effortless. And I just love that combination of like human innovation, human creativity, human passion and freedom mixed with overcoming this obstacle that is frozen ice, like something that we would associate as danger or an obstacle.
Sure.
And that's why I consider that Earth, because it's a mix of all those things.
Yeah.
And when I think about like a sport or an art form that really encompasses a lot of nature elements, you can make an argument for a few other things, but I do think it's got to be somewhere in that conversation.
Yeah, where I would say, like, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of hockey lately, so where they are skating on ice, it's not necessarily ice skating, though. And I think ice skating is, what you're saying is almost like freedom of movement in an art style. Kind of like dancing, where dancing is very performative, so is ice skating in that way. And again, where at first I was like, where's he going with this?
And like ice skating is very social. Like people go on dates ice skating. It's its own rarer form of learning how to ride a bike. Like not everybody knows how to do it. Not everybody chooses to do it. But like, I feel like at some point you have tried or you will try. You haven't tried yet, but you're young.
I mean, I've tried. I've just fallen on my ass and don't want to do it again.
Hey, I'm going to get you there.
Ooh, I don't know.
Best time in New York City to skate is in the spring.
I've heard this, actually.
Yes, because it's not too cold, but everything stays frozen. It's wonderful. It's great.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see if you get me in spring.
Let's hear your
But
top
onto
5.
my 5. It's a hate draft. This is something that I was like, if Brian doesn't take this by the 5th choice,
I'm gonna be so sad.
You're gonna be so sad.
No.
Yeah.
What is it?
From a show that you maybe might know, Parks and Recs. I took Leslie Knope.
Leslie Knope is a great,
for someone who cares so much about the environment and specifically the parks. Someone who like throughout the show constantly never wavers from the idea of we need to be better. And again, someone who connects be better to each other as a reflection of being better to the world.
Yeah.
And where it is a very funny show, and there's a lot of things that do not operate around nature itself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, she's doing the work to take care of the park, which is a reflection of Earth. She does it very freaking good.
Yeah.
It is like the specialty that she has. It, even though some people think she's annoying, and they're like, oh my God, she's so much. No one ever questions how good at what she does.
Yeah.
And how she does it.
Yeah. Parks and Rec, you're so right. I would even say Parks and Rec as a whole, because they all have different, because I'm also thinking Ron Swanson, like, even though he's very anti-government and like wants everything to be like ran by the people, he chose to go into government and he chose parks. You know, like he chose something that he likes, and he ends the series as a what is it? He ends as a trooper, as a ranger, as a park ranger.
Park ranger, yeah.
And yeah, like that's just love and admiration for nature, and Leslie's drive to protect the parks and make as many parks as possible. Even in that last season, like trying to get that land to be a state park.
Right.
That's a great pick.
Anyone
that is an awesome pick.
Who is spending their time and career to do something like that, I appreciate you and I thank you.
For sure. Definitely at one point I looked at the parks department in my local area, and I do think somewhere in there was like, it's not like Parks and Rec. It's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
No. You know what it was? I did apply, and then one of my friends at a local coffee shop, he worked as a person in the parks department in the town over, and he was like, I do paperwork most of the day. And I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Push you out of it. You could have been doing beautiful things for nature.
Listen, I'm not a desk boy. I will do what we can. Like, we will do our own like form of like humanitarianism and environmentalism from what we are doing. You know, maybe we make videos and stuff.
But it's not that.
Yeah.
Heard.
But yeah.
That's our top 5. Great.
That is our top 5.
Solid top 5.
Read your top 5, and then I will read my top 5.
Okay, so in order of how I said it, Wally was number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Second one was the Druid class in tabletop RPGs.
Yeah.
Number 3 was Zaboomafoo.
Yeah.
Number 4 was Poison Ivy. And number 5 was Leslie Knopes from Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Okay, so then mine was Earthrise, and then the Avatar Power System, and then Torterra, and then Trees, and then finally Ice Skating. And if I'm being honest, dude, I think when it comes to a coasting the Mediaverse Earth Day draft, I think yours wins. Not that we need a winner or a loser, but I do think yours is, you captured everything in media that I think is like celebrates Earth in a great way.
And I'm so normal about it because it's not even about winning. It's just about appreciating the Earth and knowing that I won up Brian. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think that yours was great and mine was awesome. So,
you know what?
And that's
sure.
Okay. I appreciate both of us. But yes, I do love my top 5. But we had some honorable mentions that we did have to leave out, which were also some really good ones in my opinion.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off with the first honorable mention that I did not think of until you mentioned Zaboomafoo.
Okay.
Steve Irwin.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
I didn't even have that.
How did I not think of Steve Irwin? Because you were like, I wish we did something. I wish there was something like Zaboomafoo now.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, I guess the closest thing right now is Robert Irwin. And then I went, wait a second, Steve Irwin. How is he not on my list? I do think if I had like another week or so to sit on this, because, you know, I should have been thinking about this more. But Steve Irwin should have been on my top 5. Steve Irwin should have been on my top 5.
Same thing for me. It wasn't on my top 5, but you talked about trees and I went, damn, this was on my list. Was Joshua Tree. Because I love Joshua Tree. That is a beautiful place to go. I recommend it every, you know, as you're saying with the red.
Yeah.
It's the place to go for me. I went there and I went last year for the first time, even though I've been in California my whole life. And it changed me.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend it.
I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, so and being able to see the stars in California that freaking beautifully.
Yeah.
It was so life-changing. I took a photo and I couldn't even capture the beauty.
It's hard to capture.
It's so hard. Yeah.
But do you want to just quickly read through our honorable mentions and then we can chat about any ones that pop?
Sure.
Let's hear it.
You want me to go?
Okay. Yeah.
I did have Toph from Avatar.
That's not bad.
You said the whole system and I was like, dang, that's crazy because that's so fair. But Toph is just such a great character who represents like the groundedness.
I was going to say the groundedness that encompasses. I do think Toph really is a great character for that. I would say Aang or Toph would be like great focuses on like the nature of it. But yeah, not bad. Toph's a good answer.
I also had as a Pokemon, I had Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, Venusaur,
Whoa, there
Ivysaur.
You go.
And I just think that's the first grass type that I got accustomed with growing up.
Sure.
And like it was the one that stands out to me a lot. And I think where it is grass poison, I do think it is like literally nature itself.
It definitely is. I think that's the thing. I thought of a few Pokemon that it could be, and then at the end of the day, I just settled with Torterra. But the Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur line is a great choice.
Sure.
So when I took that, did that remove that for you? Like it was.
It wasn't. It was on my list.
It's interesting
of the
how
possibilities.
close we got, but we never like hit.
It never left there. Yeah. Another one was a shout out to trending media. It was Punch the monkey.
Punch the monkey. Okay, well we're not saying punch the monkey. Like don't do that.
Yeah, don't know. Yeah.
But Punch the man, the monkey. His name is Punch. What a generational talent.
Adorable.
I'm really nervous that Punch is gonna grow up, and then there's gonna be a video of Punch bullying.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that,
because that's what he.
I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, I know, right? Never meet your heroes.
Never meet your heroes. Another one I had was from an anime that is dear to me. The anime is called Yu Hakusho, and the character is Kurama.
Yeah, that's not bad either. That's pretty good.
Then I had this one I didn't add on the list. I mean, it was on my backup list. It didn't say on top 5, but I still think a great character is Magneto from Marvel because of the magnetism of the world.
And that's not bad. I would have debated you a little bit.
I
would have probed you.
It would have been a debate one. It would have been one to talk about what he does for the version of the Earth he's trying to protect and make better.
Sure.
But I do think where I put Poison Ivy, who's a character who's considered an anti-hero-ish, sometimes villain, more anti-hero in my opinion. Magneto, same thing. It was easier for me to be like, oh, Poison Ivy, 100%.
Yeah.
And Magneto, it's like, I have to debate this.
I mean,
still think he's on the list. No, I'm going to hold him there.
Yeah, because it's interesting. When we say nature, we automatically, or at least me, I think plants first and then like water second. Magnetism is the Earth. It's very much part of nature that, we just can't see it, so we don't immediately think of it. But it's,
The other one I had was Agent J from Men in Black.
Agent J from Men in Black? Okay, you're going to need to explain that.
Because where a lot of people are, quote unquote, the defenders of the world.
Sure.
I feel like him and Agent K are the people who are quite literally protecting the world from everything else.
Bro never leaves New York City, but so true.
I mean, to your brain. To what you're seeing. But think about what he's doing for the reflection of not just New York.
True.
But all of Earth.
I like the Men in Black movies. I like them a lot. And I think you're so right about that.
Kind of debated.
I think I was going to say Magneto and Agent J. I'm glad that they're in your honorable
You would have debated them. Yeah, that's so fair. And if this is a debating episode, would have been great. But I'm glad that we made peace with each other's list. And I think the last one I have on here before I switch to you was another DC character, Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing's not bad.
Swamp Thing's good. I just don't know much about Swamp Thing. Like I like him, but just not enough to be able to jump into it.
That's what I figured. You're literally wearing a Batman shirt right now, so I knew like Poison Ivy was going to be on there. Like I actually knew for a fact if I could name one character, it was going to be Poison Ivy. Everything else was like a nice surprise.
Sure. All right, let's go to you.
All right, so in order, I had trees, because that was the first thing that came to mind. But the second after, the mourning dove sound.
Bird sounds are a great
Bird sounds great, but specifically the mourning dove sound. The ooh, 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 ooh. We're going to get copyrighted by doves now.
What do you got against pigeons?
I got nothing against pigeons. I'm just saying doves are where it's at, guy. The mourning dove sound is a beautiful way to wake up, you know? And then I have sunflowers. Sunflowers are cool, man. You ever look at a sunflower? They're like 10 feet tall. They're nice bright yellow. They are always facing the sun. Like if you watch like a time lapse of the day, the sun rises in one direction and they're facing that, and then they just like shift over time because they got to follow that sun. What's really cool about sunflowers is that their seeds are in the shape of the Fibonacci sequence. And it's like, how did they know to do that? Because if you're trying to arrange as many seeds as possible onto one plant, the Fibonacci sequence fits the maximum amount. So over time, evolution sorted that out. But I think that's like the closest thing to like a universal like miracle where it's like, over time, evolution did this equation that, like, scientists and mathematicians discovered over time, but evolution already handled it, I think that's impressive as hell.
And also,
nature's cool.
They are cool. It's connected to media. They are the reason why when you play Plants vs. Zombies, you actually can protect wherever you're protecting the house with the energy you're getting from the sunflowers. So thank you, sunflowers.
Interesting. I love that. I've never played Plants vs. Zombies. And then I have penguins. Bro, I love penguins. Actually, I'm going to put penguins and I think it's capuchin monkeys. Have you ever seen Friends?
Yeah.
You know how Ross is a monkey?
Yeah.
It's that monkey where it's like they're like the small black monkeys with the white face, and they're like only like 1.5 feet tall, and they just run around. It like I'm not talking gorillas or apes or chimps, like whatever, like specifically that monkey. Oh, they're so cool. But penguins, bro. Penguins are awesome. They're silly little goofballs, and
I see a connection with the ice. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
There's a penguin deep inside you.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. But then I had the preserve by my house, because I always used to go in it when I was growing up, going on walks and stuff. But during COVID, when we were all getting like stir crazy in the house, it was easy for me to go on like literally like 4 or 5 hour walks, just walking through nature. And it was absolutely amazing. And then I have, for my final one, modern medicine. Like, I guess you could say specifically penicillin, like things that fight off like infection, like things that they didn't have like 100-something years ago. Because when you think about old surgeries, or you think about like stuff they had to deal with like in the Civil War, like if you got shot in the leg, they were like, all right, gotta lose the leg now. Like, and you know what they did? They didn't put you under or anything. They gave you like a thing to bite, and they chopped your leg off. I am so thankful to live in a time where, like, the things that we deal with, they could be painful or a little bit, or they're tough, but they heal you. They have things that are, I'm so grateful for it. And I'm sure in like 150 years from now, they're going to have things where they were like, wow, you did this back then? But
here's this first aid spray that you just go ahead and put all over yourself.
Exactly.
And you're okay.
Or like a chug jug.
Chug jug, green herbs from Resident Evil.
Like you and I were talking earlier about stitches, how like I got stitches recently, but they weren't like the typical like threading a needle through my skin over and over again. They just took two basically like almost like feel like zip ties, put them on either side of the wound, and then pulled it closed. And that's all they had to do.
Sure.
And it was so simple for them. And
I respect it. I would have debated this one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's valid though.
But yeah, this has been our list, our roster. Yeah, I'm very curious to hear what all of you have and what would be on your roster, whether it's one or top 5. If you agreed with any of ours or you have your own, please let us know in the comments. It would be really nice to see it and kind of talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, do you guys disagree with any of our takes? Do you think that we should have put anything higher that we maybe didn't? And like Michael said, just, tell us your favorite thing about Earth. And, going out, we hope that when you're listening to this, you are out going on a walk. And if not, maybe it inspires you to just go out, see a little bit of nature, see some animals, see some trees, give them a hug,
And just take a breath of the fresh air that we get from Earth.
And pick up your trash.
Yeah.
I get so mad when I see people dropping trash. I'm like, are we littering in 2026? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Can't believe it's still happening.
Exactly.
But besides that, as always, like, comment, subscribe wherever you're listening to us. Definitely appreciate that. Get a yerba mate. A yerb.
Yerb.
Madre.
It's a yerb day.
A yerb day, Earth Day. As always, I'm Michael.
And I'm Brian.
See you later. Oh yeah.